As 2019 nears its end, we are almost done with most of the major smartphone launches for the year. Yeah, there are a few notable ones left, like for example the Realme X2 Pro is coming, the CC9 Pro might end up making its way over to India. We've been hearing Poco F2 rumors all year, but most of the big hitters are already out, so let me take this opportunity to rank the best camera smartphones of 2019. Just the best camera smartphones, not the best all-round phones. With that disclaimer out of the way, hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and if you end up liking what you see in this video, please don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get this video started. So guys, one more disclaimer. In this video, we are just going to be focusing on the optics, the battery life, the processor. They're not going to be really playing a part in this video. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's begin. So we're going to start with the 10K segment. At this price range, the Redmi Note 8 gets my recommendation. It's got a 48 megapixel primary camera and the quad camera set up to its back. It gives us a lot of options, a lot of flexibility. More than what we should probably be expecting on a phone in this segment. Now, the number of cameras do not amount to much if the performance doesn't match. The primary especially, that is very important, and Samsung's ISOCELL GM1 here, it does seem to do well. I mean, it's still the same sensor as on the Chinese Redmi Note 7 or the Indian Redmi Note 7S, but Redmi, they've tweaked the software and the results are pretty good. Once we add the wide angle to the mix, even if you don't really care for the depth or macro options much, this is still a pretty good package. The Redmi Note 8, it punches well above its weight. And that's just with the stock camera option. Get Gcam on it and it shoots really well. I mean, the shots end up being so good that it might just give the Note 8 Pro a run for its money. So on this one, I definitely agree with you guys. That's our Twitter results. The Redmi Note 8 did win by a fairly large margin there. Now moving on to the 15K range, we have a ton of options here. Redmi, Realme, Vivo, even Samsung. A lot of brands have had competitive launches at this segment. Add to it, we have a few surprise entries like Poco's F1 and the Nokia 8.1 that have ended up here after price cuts, and we're just spoiled for choice, right? Twitter though has chosen the Redmi Note 8 Pro here, and I have to agree. It's pretty much the best option if you're looking for a well-rounded camera. The Note 8 Pro can shoot good pictures in almost any lighting condition, and video capture capabilities on it are nothing to scoff at. That being said, in certain conditions, the 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 sensor does outdo the 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. We've seen that in our Redmi Note 7 Pro versus Redmi Note 8 Pro camera comparison video. The dynamic range and the details were ever so slightly better on the Sony sensor. Now the Realme X has the same 48 megapixel sensor, and it also has a pop-up selfie camera, so that makes it a great choice in this price range. Another surprise pick here is the Nokia 8.1. Now available for around the 14,000-15,000 rupee range in some places. It does make it the only phone in this segment to come with optical stabilization. And while looks might be a bit outdated, the 12 megapixel primary snapper, it still takes some really good looking shots. So if you have a soft spot for Nokia and want OIS, then the 8.1 is pretty solid. It's a good, these two phones are good second and third options. Next up, let's take a look at the 25K range. Again, we did have a pretty nice selection of phones here, but I'm gonna have to go with the Redmi K20 Pro. Now at this price point, almost everything comes with the Sony IMX586, so that's not the differentiating factor. Instead, it's the more well-rounded telephoto plus wide-angle option that gave the K20 Pro this round. Now if you don't want 4K 60 FPS recording, then you could probably go with the Redmi K20 that sports the IMX582. The rest of the camera specs are identical. We also have the Oppo Reno 2Z here that's got a really amazing night mode, and if you want a phone that's got a dedicated depth sensor for those selfie portraits, then the Vivo V17 Pro comes into play too. It's got a set of pretty unique camera features on it, Check out our unboxing video if you want to know more. In fact, we have more in-depth videos on each of these phones linked in the description below in case any of you want to check them out. And by the way, the K20 Pro was also your pick on Twitter. Moving on to a higher segment, the 40K-ish segment, we have some very interesting smartphones here to choose from. We have the shark fin selfie-toting Oppo Reno 2, the swivel cameras of the Asus 6Z, the OnePlus 7T of course, and then the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. The Pixel 3 also just makes it onto this list. It may be more than a year old by now, but it's still an amazing shooter. It's a Pixel, right? It is a bit more pricey at around 45, but it's the Huawei Mate 20 Pro that I'm gonna go with. Now, if we are just talking about the cameras, it's pretty much unmatched. We get OIS and an amazing night mode. Night sight is better, but the Mate 20 Pro comes really close. Now, you guys did vote for the OnePlus 7T, but sorry, I am gonna have to go with Huawei on this one for stills. But, yes, that is a but. While the Mate 20 Pro does offer decent EIS with its OIS, they call it AIS for video, and it's got that portrait video options and the background being monochrome for video and all that. The lack of 4K 60 FPS on it, and the video itself is a little iffy. It's good, but it's not as good as stills. And again, the Pixel 3 doesn't have 4K 60 either, so this kind of rules out both these phones, and OnePlus 7T is probably the best option when it comes to video. It's got really good 4K 60 with stabilization, and it's pretty impressive that way. Honorable mention to the Asus 6Z, which can also do 4K 60, and that swivel camera gets some amazingly smooth pans, and it's got excellent selfies, in fact best-in-class selfies. While the Pixel 3 has better portraits, even the Pixel cannot match the 6Z with respect to detail, and those wide-angle selfies on the 6Z are just mind-blowing. The Reno 2 also shines here thanks to the ultra-steady video as well as the shark fin selfie camera. It's quite the conversation starter, and to top it all off, it does take quite good pictures. Moving up a rung, let's now take a look at the really high-end options. These are phones around 70,000 rupees. Here we have the Note 10, the Huawei P30 Pro, and of course the latest iPhone 11. Now this one is really close since all the phones here take really amazing pictures, but after much discussion here at C4E Tech, we again have a split victory. The win for stills goes to the P30 Pro. The P30 Pro comes with that 5x periscope zoom camera, and it can do up to 10x hybrid zoom, and again the night mode is simply amazing. Overall, it's an excellent set of cameras, but just like the Mate 20 Pro, the video is capped at 4K 30 and it's frankly not exceptional. It's good, but it's not as good as needed to win. And here's where the iPhone 11 comes in. 4K 60 via all three sensors, the wide, the regular, and even the selfie, and that's just nuts. Amazing video performance. For videos, it's gotta be the iPhone 11. And if you want to walk a fine line between the two, then the Galaxy Note 10 it is. It does good 4K 60 from the rear camera, and the video is better than the Huawei. It offers more shooting options than the iPhone, so it's kind of a middle ground to go with. The super steady mode is amazing. By the way, Twitter chose the iPhone. My choice, still P30 Pro, video iPhone, middle ground Note 10. Now finally, let's get to the price doesn't matter segment. Here our choices get limited. We have the Note 10 Plus, the Galaxy Fold, the iPhone 11 Pro, and the iPhone XS Max. The Pixel 4 and the Mate 30 Pro couldn't make the cut since they have not been launched in India, and we're only talking about devices that are currently available here. And the iPhone 11 Pro is my pick and seemingly yours too. 4K 60 via all cameras, the 12 megapixel telephoto, ultra wide, regular and selfie options. Being able to record via all these at once is insane. And the images also turn out great, and honestly this is the best camera phone you can buy today. But is it worth paying that premium for? That's a story for another day. Today we're just talking cameras. The Note 10 Plus, it is a pretty well-rounded option. We have 4K 60 FPS recording, a pretty good night mode, and all three cameras, the primary, ultra wide and the telephoto, they take excellent shots with good detail and great dynamic range. It even has a TOF sensor thrown in there for some weird and fun software effects. So that's on the Android side of things. So overall, best camera phone, it's gotta be the iPhone 11 Pro. So that about wraps it up. I know the Mi CC9 Pro has kind of thrown a wrench in the works since it's managed to get the highest DxOMark score. The optics on it, at least on paper, seem to be amazing, but let's see if and when it comes out in India. I will be glad to test it out and update the list if needed, so do check out the description for any update. I will add it there. So as of now, do you agree with my picks? If not, what is it that you disagree with? Is there a phone you feel I missed, you feel I should have done something differently? Let me know your feedback in the comments below. So I guess that's it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about this video. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.